This lesson is all about learning how to draw different kinds of textures. So because we touch texture with our hands, this is going to focus around our hand. So our very first step is to trace the outline of your hand in your sketchbook. So I'm using a harder pencil. I've got an H, and I'm just going to slowly and carefully trace my hand in my sketchbook, and that's going to create the basis of this drawing. Awesome. And then you're going to pick 5 different textures to apply to each one of your fingers, and at the end we're going to have a finished drawing. You can pick 5 different textures, or you can copy the 5 that I choose. It's up to you. I'm going to start with my ring finger, my first finger, and I'm going to turn it into basically a cactus. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a couple of vertical lines. I think I'm going to do 3 vertical lines. And then I'm just going to go ahead and add a couple of those little cactus type spikies in there to make it look like a little cactus. You could add like a little cactus flower. You can add like another cactus arm coming off the side if you'd like to, or you can keep it really simple and just add some cactus spikes. When you're done, it should look just like a cactus, and if you touched it, it would feel spiky. On my middle finger, I'm going to add scales. So scales are basically just like half circles, semicircles. I'm basically drawing like a bunch of U's. And I'm going to alternate them so they're not perfectly in a line. Scales don't follow any specific pattern. So when they're a little bit more randomized, they're going to look a little bit more realistic. So I'm going to fill in my entire finger using scale pattern. As I'm getting towards the bottom, my scales are getting a little bit bigger just to create some interest. Not all scales are the exact same size. And then you could go ahead and add a little bit of shading very lightly. If you can imagine the book The Rainbow Fish, he's got a whole bunch of different kinds of values to make it look like it's moving. Awesome. So that's my fish scales. On my ring finger, I'm going to do a brick pattern. So bricks are rounded out rectangles. You can decide how big you want them to be. I'm going to misalign where the seams go because they don't all line up. That would make it look super weird. I'm going to do a full brick there. So I'm just going to go ahead and draw the brick pattern. And then you could add a little bit of shading and detail here to make it look a little more realistic as well. My pinky finger, my little finger, is going to be the texture of burlap. So that would be like a coffee bag, or if you ever did a 3-legged race when you were a kid. It's kind of like a brown sack that has this weave texture. So I'm drawing all of my vertical lines pretty closely together, and then some horizontal lines that are also pretty close together. You don't need them to be super perfect. The waviness makes it look a little bit more organic and natural, which is the characteristics of burlap. And then once you're finished with those lines, you can shade it in as well if you'd like. And then my thumb over here is going to be fur. So I'm going to start and just pretend like you're drawing like hair. So I'm like really quickly going to go through and just like add a bunch of really short, quick vertical lines to just make my thumb look really fuzzy, as if it was like a beaver's fur or something like that. Awesome. And then last but not least, I'm going to draw some of the like lines. You can look at the inside of your hand and add some of these like lines just to make it look a little bit more realistic. And that is my drawing.